I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Ms. Salcha?
Here.
Mr. Lindemann?
Present.
Mr. Ramos?
Here.
Mr. Berry?
Here. Item 1D, board meeting minutes not previously approved.
Mr. Brain?
Yes.
Before we approve, I have a correction on the October 3rd minutes. There is a correction on the name. Benjamin Lopez should be Benjamin Loreto, listed under the retention stipends that we approved. So it's just a correction on the last name for the record.
Okay, well noted. Including that correction, Mr. Lindemann,
I move to approve the minutes with the correction.
is there a second?
Second. Second.
Got it. Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes, summary of current events, Ms. Samaniego.
All right, so I have quite a lot to share with our governing board and our community and staff today. First of all, we want to acknowledge that we're celebrating Dr. Seuss and Love of Reading Week. And so I had the opportunity today, along with many community members, to go read at a few classrooms at Clawson Elementary. And so I want to thank the teachers that invited. We had basketball players from Cochise County. Dr. Jackie Clay is coming. So numerous teachers invited community members. So we're doing that this week. Spring sports are taking place, baseball, softball. You know, we just had the Ted James track meet, and I want to say it was well attended, very well organized. So I want to thank Ms. Donna Seville, and a special thanks, and these are not my words, but these are Ms. Seville's words, to Alejandra Yanes, the athletic director's secretary for the athletic department, and she worked hard to, again, make this event run smoothly. We also will be holding a ribbon cutting ceremony. We're working on March 25th. As soon as I have the dates and times and final setup, Alma will be notifying you. But we're looking at March 25th. It's a Monday at 9 a.m. That would be the ribbon cutting ceremony, with possibly an afternoon open house event for community parents or anybody that is welcome to attend that event as well. Reminder, and that's why all of our teachers are very happy this week, that spring break is next week. And so our schools are closed. Also, just a little information on what the board had asked us to do is we attended a seminar with Stifel, which is a company that leads or guides school districts on bond elections and overrides. And so Mr. Soto and I attended a meeting. We met one-to-one with their staff. They shared potential bond numbers and different possibilities, whether we go for a 15 million bond or a 13 million based on what we're allowed to do. We then attended about a 5-hour seminar where they went over all the parameters around bond elections. So we did that. Our next steps are to have another Zoom meeting where we will invite a couple board members just to hear them out and hear the different scenarios for our bond if and when we do it. And so that's what we will be doing. The recommendation on their end was that we are in time to have a bond election in the November election, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and I really think that it's very, very soon, and we will still work on that process and get the right information to the governing board before you all make a decision on that. So wanted to let you know that. I also want to congratulate 2 high school teachers, Mrs. Paola Rojo and Mrs. Giselle Romero. They were selected to participate in the Sphere Summit, the Foundation of Civic Culture scholarship. It's a full scholarship that they were awarded to attend a week in Washington, D.C. for their summit, and it's July 14th through 18th. The scholarship will cover 4 nights of accommodation, meals, materials, resources, and a $500 travel reimbursement. So congratulations to both teachers. They will be going to DC. Mr. Soto has also been in contact and working with the School Facilities Board on the ADA issue that came about for Rayburn Middle School Gymnasium. So the architect has already come down. We're waiting for an analysis and an assessment of a possible solution to an ADA access, whether it be a ramp, an elevator, multiple things. So that's where we're at, but we are working on that end, and hopefully we'll have a solution very soon. I also have certificates issued by Dr. Clay, our Cochise County School Superintendent's Office, and I'm going to read one letter, and the rest of the letters are very much the same. It's just the letter grade is different. So we're going to start with Miss Corey Moen. I want to congratulate you and your staff at Clawson Elementary School 2023 A through F school performance. Clawson Elementary School has earned an A grade of excellence for 2023. The overall performance of your students is significantly higher than the state average, and A grade reflects their distinguished accomplishment on the statewide assessment, significant growth, and achievements. This grade measures critical areas key to student success in school: mastery of math, language arts, reading to move on. But your exemplary leadership is reflected by your staff, going above and beyond the call of duty to ensure the students receive a high-quality education. I would also like to take the opportunity to thank you and your outstanding staff for the hard work and dedication, both in and out of the classroom, motivating students to fulfill their potential. Many of the great strides they have accomplished result from their exceptional devotion, love, and tenacity. As we work towards providing all students with the knowledge and tools they need to succeed, your team is the greatest asset in challenging our students to achieve their goals. I commend you for your relentless determination and enthusiasm for student betterment, igniting self-belief, and sharing high school-wide expectations. Again, congratulations on a job well done. Thank you for your hard work and commitment. The excellence in education affects not just individuals, students, but the entire community. Please pass on my sincere congratulations to your staff and students for the exemplary standards reached at Clawson Elementary. So this certificate goes out to Mrs. Moen and Clawson staff. Ms. Moen? So, display it proudly. Congratulations, and there is your letter.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
And next, we have the same letter, and this is congratulating you and your staff at Paul Huber Middle School, 2023 A through F's performance. Paul Huber Middle Junior High has earned a B grade of excellence for the 2023. So, Mr. Martin, this is for Paul Huber and staff.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. The next certificate is for Rayburn Middle School. Want to congratulate you and your staff at Rayburn Middle School, 2023 A through F performance, for earning a B grade of excellence. And Mrs. La Madrid is actually out today, but Ms. Trinta, she's running athletics right now for her school, and there's a heavy-duty soccer game competition going on right now. She needs to be there, so we will make sure that Rayburn staff and administration get their B certificate.
We might have a special meeting for that.
Yes, we will have Mr. Beret, there's your certificate.
No,
Okay.
I'm just.
Next, we have Douglas High School, certificate going out to Principal Melissa Rodriguez and staff for earning a B grade of highly performing for the 23 school year. So congratulations, Mrs. Rodriguez and staff. There's your certificate. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Melissa. Congratulations.
We have two more. The next certificate goes to Principal Sidney Fimbres and Stevenson Elementary staff for their B letter grade for the 23 school year. So there's your letter. Congratulations. And our last B school is Ferris Elementary, and we are issuing the certificate to Mrs. Claudia Leon and staff at Ferris Elementary. And I'm glad she's here because she was running a little late with kiddos. And again, these certificates were issued by Cochise County School Superintendent's Office to all A and B schools across Cochise County. And that is it for my report.
Okay, so under item E, and congratulations to all those people for your outstanding work. It's good that the county would recognize you and others, as you said, but the fact that you are being recognized makes us as board members feel good that you're doing a good job. Superintendent's GEM Award, Ms. Samaniego.
Our GEM Award for the month of February is Ms. Paola Rojo. She is a Douglas High School teacher, and she was nominated by colleagues, and this is what they said. Rojo is always willing and ready to help out in any way she can. She is a great role model. She is part of so many amazing clubs and projects. If you ever have the privilege of working alongside her, know that she will put her heart and care in any project, and she will accomplish that project with excellence. Her qualities of determination, kindness, and diligence gives motivation and instills those qualities to those around her. Not only will she go the extra mile, but she will go the second mile. Rojo is the one you can count on. So congratulations, Ms. Rojo. So it says, Superintendent's GEM Award for being extraordinary employee and going the extra mile. And I chose green because to me you're an emerald, and you shine like this piece of thing. So congratulations. And
Congratulations.
hello. I do want to encourage all of our employees to continue those nominations. We've been getting a lot of great nominations from custodians all the way to teaching, so it's not just for teachers. So please nominate your colleagues because you guys are out there observing what great qualities are in our employees.
Why don't you just go ahead with the PMS Paul Huber Middle School Honor Band?
Yes. So Ms. Brittany Darris is here to present some recognitions for her honor students.
Good evening, President Brain, Ms. Phonics, members of the board. My name is Brittany Darris. I'm the music teacher at all of our elementary schools this year and at Paul Huber. And tonight I brought with me our 6 Huber Middle School students that made our Southern Arizona Honor Band. This year there were over 250 students represented from 40 different schools, and only 2 schools in Cochise County were there. Huber and 1 out of Sierra Vista. So these kids have worked really, really hard. They had only 1 month to learn 4 brand new pieces of music at different levels, and they're the ones that put in the work. So I brought them, and I actually had a special award made for them that we're going to hang up at Huber to honor them for all of their work this year. So, you guys, come on. This is for you, not for me.
Can you take a picture?
So, let's get a picture.
You guys want to line up over here, ladies and gentlemen? And we'll take a picture with Ms. Darris. Can you please get in the picture too? Can we stand Can you get back? Line up against the. Line up right against. Hold on for Mr. Ramos. Thank you. Congratulations.
You know, it's good to note that You were the first one to break in that new podium.
It's true.
The only thing is, there's no mic.
There's a mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. Marco, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ms. Samaniego with the Douglas Unified School District Phonics.
Yes, our monthly presentation is going to present what our DUSD Phonics team has been working on, accomplishing in, and we talked, you saw a presentation by one of the teachers at Sarah Marley with what their students are doing. So this is part of that process and that progress that we're working on as a district, and Mrs. Walker is leading that team. So we'll turn it over to Mrs. Walker and staff.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, Mrs. Samaniego, Mr. Soto, and Mr. Luna. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the Douglas Unified School District Phonics team tonight. With me, I have Ana Ballesteros, second grade, Joe Carlson, Savannah Tapia, first grade, Clausen, Herla Vasquez, first grade, Sarah Marley, couldn't be here, Jessica Galaz, kindergarten, Clausen, Joni Duarte, preschool, Stevenson, Jessica Castillo, school improvement specialist, and Nicole Mariscal, school improvement specialist, and they're hiding back there. Ana Luisa Martinez, K3 reading coach, couldn't be here tonight, and then y'all know me, Katie Walker, ESS director. Marco, do you have the video? Okay. The purpose of the phonics team here at DUSD is to improve K2 reading scores across the district. We know that reading instruction needs to be explicit, systematic, and sequential. We also know that phonics instruction plays an important role in the development of fluent readers. The group you see here tonight was very purposely selected as they were observed to incorporate phonics instruction into their reading instruction prior to the development of this team. Phonics instruction prior to this group being created was not explicit, systematic, or sequential across the district. The team has worked hard to change that here. The team met together first and then with their grade levels to discuss phonics instruction across the district. Through those discussions, they took a phonics scope and sequence that was developed by Ms. Tapia for Clausen, tweaked it, and created a kinder through second grade phonics scope and sequence for the entire district to follow. In addition to the development of the phonics scope and sequence, the team met with their grade levels monthly. At those meetings, the grade levels identified resources for instruction. Members of this team have allowed their grade level colleagues to observe them during their own instruction, to model strategies for reading instruction, and have allowed themselves to be videotaped so that their colleagues in their grade levels had a video to refer back to. In January, the team moved on from having only discussions regarding phonics and started discussing reading fluency and differentiation in reading, while still working on phonics. Currently, the team is supporting their colleagues in implementing reading centers. Reading centers support differentiation in order to meet the individual needs of the students. I am proud tonight to showcase their work. The video you are about to watch will highlight the various instructional strategies and resources that they are implementing preschool through second grade here at Douglas Unified. And the goal, again, is to improve reading. I want to thank Mr. Alonso Tapia for creating this video, and we're going to go ahead and play that video for you, and each member of the team is going to come up tonight and give you a preview of what you're about to watch.
Good evening. In the preschool segment of the video, we are focusing on developing phonemic awareness, which is an auditory skill that doesn't involve written words. Before children can blend and decode in reading, they need to develop the ability to hear and manipulate individual sounds and phonemes. Therefore, phonemic awareness serves as a foundational skill that precedes phonics. In the first writing sample, you're going to see me working with my students, but then following that, you'll see a little slide of a few writing samples. And in the first writing sample, we have a name writing practice that the students do daily, where it demonstrates their familiarity with the letter formations in their name. However, the student that you're going to see, their sample, they're working on the correct formation or the correct order of the letters in their name. So you'll see how it kind of changes each day. The second example is a student that exhibits the ability to phonetically decode and write certain consonant, vowel, consonant, CVC words, such as cat in the hat. Our Haggerty, are you guys ready? Yeah. Excellent. You look ready with your hands down by your side. Our first one is rhyming words. Do you remember those? Yeah. It's rhyme time. Here we go. Repeat after me. Me first, and then your turn.
Okay.
Here we go. Bye, hi.
Bye, hi.
Hi, tie.
Hi, tie.
Tie, my.
Tie, my.
My guy.
My guy.
Excellent. Those are all rhyming words with the ending sound I. What's the ending sound? I. Okay. Turn. Then it's your turn.
Okay.
Okay. First word. Backyard. Backyard. Oh, hold on. Wait till I'm all the way finished. Backyard. Backyard.
Backyard. Backyard.
Back seat. Back seat.
Back seat. Back seat.
Backpack. Backpack.
Backpack. Backpack.
Excellent. Backbone. Backbone. Oh, wait till I finish. Backbone. Backbone.
Backbone.
Ready to listen. Okay? The first word after me, I'll point when it's your turn. The first word is backyard. Backyard. You do it. Backyard. Backyard. We're taking it apart. Okay. Next word. Are you here? Ready?
Good evening. So in kindergarten, phonemic awareness and phonics is very important in developing their foundational skills. Phonemic awareness helps students break the words into sounds, while phonics helps them connect those sounds to letters. So it's very important to recognize that the science of reading extends beyond phonics to include the 5 components and building the 5 components, which is phonemic awareness, phonics, vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension. So in my first video, you will see me teach the students CVC words, which is the consonant, vowel, consonant. The goal is to have the students hear the sounds, which are the phonemes in the phonemic awareness area. This is the ability to hear, identify, move, or change sounds in spoken words. The students have a mat, and on the mat, they have sound boxes. And then within those sound boxes, they could identify each sound in the word, which is the phonemes. The second video, Ms. Ariano teaches the students the same, but this time she includes the digraphs in the words. Using the mats allows us to teach and follow the science of reading. So Ms. Ariano has been using these mats for many years, so she's the one who helped us, the kindergarten crew, to teach the students these mats. So once they know all the rules, they are able to read and write independently. So you will see one of my students that is able to read their passage independently, and another student, she'll read her writing, and she's able to do that independently. So you'll see an example of her writing, and in that writing, you'll see what's called invented spelling, which the students, they hear the sounds as they're writing the words. So all this together, this is what we are teaching our students in the reading area so they can be prepared to go to first grade.
Okay, boys and girls, we're going to segment the word dog. So let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. Ready? Let's segment the word dog. 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 Finger stretch. Dog. Partner stretch. Dog. Okay, now we're going to segment with the mat. So with your non-dominant hand, hold your mat. Ready? Let's move the counters up. Segment the word dog. Ready? What's the word? Dog. Okay, now let's spell the word dog. Here we go. Sound it out. Dip. What letter is that? word charm. Ready? Let's segment the word charm. Finger stretch, charm. Okay, on your mat, show me. Charm. Okay, sweep down.
Open up your markers.
Open up your markers. Okay, charm. What's the first sound you hear in charm? And cha. Cha. What is cha? Matthew, what is cha? What makes the cha sound?
CH.
And CH is
Digraph.
what's a digraph?
A digraph, you can put two letters together to make one sound.
Yes, a digraph. 2 letters. Good job. And CH as in what? Cheese. Let's write the CH. Ch. We're only going to use one sound box for the ch. What sound do you hear in the middle? R. R. Andre, R. What makes the R sound?
A-R.
And what is AR?
A digraph.
What's a digraph?
A digraph is 2 letters together to make one sound.
2 letters together make one sound. Let's put R. Good job. R. A. R. As in? Star. As in star. Ch. R. What do we hear at the end?
Charm.
Okay. What's our word? Charm. And your markers. Oops.
Bit, hit, fit, sit, kit. A big kit. The cat likes to sit in the kit. Will she fit? She hit the kit and bit the top. She cannot fit. I like school because it is fun. First, school is awesome. Next, school is all about spending time with your friends. Last, I love school. Finally, school is wonderful. I love my teachers.
Good evening. In the next clip, you'll see first grade. The video opens with my student Jax reading at the beginning of the year. You can see how he struggles to track his sounds, and you'll hear the way that he's unable to blend words together after sounding them out. Then we'll move to Mr. Tapia's class, where you'll see his students rotating during reading centers. After that, you'll see my class, specifically a small group, reading at the table with me during our reading centers. During this time, we're working on building reading fluency. Reading centers is something that I was opposed to at the beginning of the year because I had only ever taught whole group. Now, after implementing the reading centers, I can confidently say they have increased my students' reading fluency. Finally, you'll see my student Jax reading again, but this time it'll be from the middle of the year. You'll notice the way he tracks his reading on his own now, and he's beginning to read with fluency. Our video will pause on a writing sample. This sample's from a student of mine that has mastered the writing process from our Right from the Beginning curriculum. As you will see, she does a great job with her spelling, and this is due to the work we do daily in phonics. The writing sample was done independently by this student.
On hats.
Okay, your sounds again.
Have. At.
Wait, what'd you say right here?
Have.
Check again.
Have.
Ham.
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 At. Lunch. Lunch.
Okay, keep going.
Chip. Chap. Chap. Do. Cham. Cham.
Chad. 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 That's a boy's name. Okay, you're down here.
Have. Joan said, I love my trombone. I am not joking. Dad said, well, Joan said, if you don't like it, just put a pillow over your head. Dad got a pillow, but he did. I have a dog. Her name is Mac. She had a red name tag. I already read that one. She likes to wag her tail. Mac is a good dog.
It's on. Good evening. So I teach second grade, and as you saw, all the grade levels prior to our presentation, they all build upon each other. And when students come to second grade, it's not just focusing on the one skill; it's focusing on every single component of the National Reading Panel. According to them, we have the 5 components, and that's what we focus based on their study and everything we've learned in teaching. But what I have learned is through the science of reading, we see, I try to teach my kids, and they do catch on, but it is tricky. Phonics is not easy. But you're about to see a video where my students are actually doing a skill called coding. And what coding does, it teaches children to see words in a different way. It's not just letters and vowels and consonants, but it's what makes up that word specifically. Because there are rules that govern those words to be spelled a certain way, and what sounds and why they make a sound. And so it is true a science of reading. Because if they understand what composes a word and they can code a word, they can read, they can spell independently, and it just becomes such a great thing when you see children making that progress. And so coding is a skill that it is challenging, but students do catch on, and I'm proud to say that I see a lot of progress in that area. So it does affect the writing and the reading. I do have some actual examples of the writing here, so I will be sharing those with you. Thank you.
Next lesson, let's go ahead and read our objective. Okay? Here we go.
I can code and read words by using my phonics skills.
I need to have you echo the words and listen for the sound that they have in common. Ready? Nature.
Nature.
Moisture.
Moisture.
Pasture.
Pasture.
What sound did you hear in common? Thinking.
Pasture.
Chur. Chur. What do you think chur might be, Alejandro?
A word that's at the end. A word that actually.
Is it a word? Did you notice it's at the end of the word?
Yes, it's at the end of the word.
That's where you hear the sound. And what do you think it is, Leonardo? What did he say, everyone? T-U-R-E. How do we code final stable syllables? What does that say? Capture. Capture. Nice. I love your sound dots. And you remembered the K back. Beautiful. How many syllables in the word capture? Nice. 2 syllables. I love that you did the jaw strategy. Capture. Nice coding. You remembered the K back. Beautiful. Capture. Beautiful.
So this team is working extremely hard and focused on reading instruction across K through second, or pre-K through second, sorry, Joni. And we hope next year to start tackling 3rd grade, but if you have any questions, please let us know.
Fabulous, because when I think back, I never got to do any of that stuff. I think it was all coloring. But this is wonderful, and thank you very much.
You're doing a wonderful job. We're very proud of you. Keep it up.
And I will add that the team that has been working on this, just as students make progress, so do our teachers, because if you would have seen them the first meeting that Mrs. Walker pulled them together, they thought, like, what is she talking about? I already teach reading. I already teach it my way, and I'm not changing. So even that, they have progressed as a group of educators who are learning from each other. And so I appreciate the leadership from each one of you and the support from the coaches and Mrs. Walker. So.
Also, just a quick comment. It's always gratifying to see veteran teachers like yourselves and dynamic as well. I mean, you can tell, you go into a classroom, you can tell when there's positive instruction going on. And just by looking at this, the other question is more, comment is more of a question. Looking at those classrooms, they look like they're well supplied. And I'm not going to put you on the spot, but do you people or anybody at the elementary level, do you have all the supplies you need to be able to accomplish that mission of doing those things? Because it's pretty well known over the country that teachers are spending money out of their own pocket and bringing a lot of the materials to the classroom. So, and again, I don't want to put him on the spot, or him, but I just want to make sure that seriously, that you have what you need to do that kind of thing without having to take a lot of money out of your own pocket.
Well, I'm going to start. I'll be honest, some of the resources that we pulled in the beginning were because Ms. Tapia had gone out and found the resource herself, and we presented it to the 1st grade. She showed it to the 1st grade team. They liked it. We thought it would be a good resource. So, yes, I mean, and then I think Kinder has found a resource they got themselves. We're trying to support them. I'm pulling any copies they need. The mats, Miss Moen and I sat in 2 days and made 600 mats for the K1 grade levels. So unfortunately, they have had to, on their own, they went out and found the resources themselves, but now we're collaborating and they're sharing resources with each other, and we're trying to fix that moving forward.
I just wanted to say that, again, very impressive, and being that my colleagues were former teachers and they were impressed. But the main thing is that seeing that, when I went to school, like Mitch was saying, we did a lot of coloring. It's nothing like that the way it is now, and but the main thing that you're doing a wonderful job with what we can give you, and I know everybody else, struggles, all the other districts too, but it makes me feel very good, very proud to have a staff that works so hard as you all do, and we really appreciate you.
I just had, they're talking about coloring. I hope it didn't go all the way to high school. I can't imagine. But that really was a great presentation, and it's very impressive, and we thank you. And we know you guys are doing a good job in the classroom. That just kind of corroborates it with us. Thank you.
I thought you were gonna say you didn't have any colors, any coloring crayons or anything when you went.
Well, I went to school in Banamachi.
Just
Thank
one-
you very much.
Mrs.
One
Elcha
quick
has
thing.
one comment.
Go ahead.
Mrs.
One-
Elcha
just
has
one
one
quick
comment.
thing.
Oh, sorry.
I want to tell you that I really appreciate you changing what you had already been doing or you had been taught to do, try something different and go out, because it will reach more children that way. Thank you.
Yeah, and I want to thank you guys for your time today, and I want to thank the girls for all the work. You know, we talked, and Ms. Samaniego and I, and we saw great things happening out in classrooms, but it was happening in isolation, and so the goal was to bring them, have that collaboration, and spread it throughout the district. So I really want to thank them for their work.
And we can see Mrs. Tapia's student from the beginning to the middle improve. AKA Ms. Walker's son. So,
He gets volunteered for a
yes,
lot.
okay.
He's
Well,
very excited.
thank you, and
Thank you.
congratulations, ladies.
Governing board members' reports. Mr. Strick? Ms. Salchow?
No, no.
Mr. Lindeman?
I have nothing.
Mr. Ramos? Also, when Ms. Samaniego was giving her report, I think everybody understood she was talking about bond for the new gymnasium, right? That's what she was talking about. Yeah, and not to be critical, but I just want to make sure I understand that. Let's go to school activity report, Mr. Luna.
Good evening, Mr. President Brain, Superintendent Samaniego, members of the board, DUSD faculty and staff, and members of the public. The activity report at Douglas High School and DUSD schools for the month of March is as follows. As mentioned by Superintendent Samaniego, the 10 James Track Invitational was a great success. We want to give many thanks to everyone that helped out and made everything possible. As for what's going on in our district, spring break will be on March 11th through the 15th. Irma de la Vega Elementary Basketball Tournament will be on March 23rd, and Easter break is on March 29th through April 1st. At Douglas High School, on March 8th, which is this Friday, there will be a DUSD job fair at Douglas High School. March 20th will be the AZ side testing for the cohort of 2025. March 22nd and 23rd is the Hilda Luna softball tournament. March 27th is the ACT testing also for the cohort of 2025. And March 27th through March 30th is the Skills USA State Conference and Championships. At Paul Huber Middle School, congratulations to our Paul Huber Middle School Wolfpack Teacher of the Year, Shannon Seville, our PHMS Wolfpack Teacher of the Year, new Teacher of the Year, Priscilla Polanco, and PHMS Wolfpack Classified Staff of the Year, Jesus Chuy Duarte. As far as Wolfpack Athletics, girls basketball will be playing Wade Carpenter for the championship today, along with boys soccer playing Rayburn Middle School. At Clausen Elementary School, congratulations to our Clausen Teacher of the Year, Alonso Tapia, new Teacher of the Year, Emilia Castillo, and Classified Staff of the Year, Dorina Watkins. Love of Reading Week is this week. We are celebrating with a week of dress-up days and community readers. We would like to take Chuy Duarte, the Cat in the Hat, DFD, Border Patrol, U.S. Customs, Cochise College Basketball, County Superintendent Jackie Clay, Homeland Security, Mayor Donald Hewish, Superintendent Samaniego, Assistant Superintendent Denise Cox, ESS Director Katie Walker, DUSD Improvement Specialists, Ms. Douglas Days Queens, Ms. China Poblana, and our Clausen families who are coming to share the love of reading with our Panthers. At Stevenson Elementary School, congratulations to our Stevenson Teacher of the Year, Ms. Alyssa Lindeman, our Classified Staff of the Year, Mr. Martin Peña. We are completing our annual fundraising event for the American Heart Association this Friday with a Kids Heart Challenge assembly, sponsored by Ms. Villalobos. At Joe Carlson Elementary School, they are celebrating Dr. Seuss this week with a week of dress-up days and family and community members stopping by to read to our students. We would like to congratulate Joe Carlson Teacher of the Year, Kindergarten Teacher, Mrs. Sonia Wilkinson, new Teacher of the Year, Preschool Teacher, Wendy Parra, and Classified Staff of the Year, Campus Monitor, Dustin McClary. We are completing our annual fundraising event for the American Heart Association this Friday with a Kids Heart Challenge assembly sponsored by Mrs. Ballesteros, Mr. Morales, and Mrs. Villa. At Sailor Marley Elementary School, our Scholastic Book Fair will run from Monday, March 18th through Friday, March 29th. And finally, at Ferris Elementary School, congratulations to our Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Alvina Hughes, and Mrs. Anna Sodari, our Classified Staff Member of the Year. Parent-teacher conferences for quarter 3 will be held on Wednesday, March 20th, and our award ceremony for quarter 3 will be on Wednesday, March 27th. That concludes my report.
Very good, thank you. Let's go to the budget report, Mr. Soto.
Good evening, Mr. President, board members. I'm presenting the budget balance report for the month of February. And like I said, last month, I mean, it's a new report kind of thing. I got rid of that bottom of the report and then just added the auxiliary and student activities accounts for your information. I know you had that information prior, but this is a summary of all of the papers that you get normally. I don't know if you have a specific question in terms of these numbers.
Well, do you have anything significant of any changes or anything that's in the offing or anything like that that you want to report that regarding the budget or expenditures or revenues?
Nothing for this year. I mean, like we talked before.
Okay, we're going to save it for down the road too then.
Okay.
On the agenda as well.
Correct.
Members of the board, any questions, Mr. Smith, regarding the budget?
No.
Ms. Salchow?
No.
Mr. Linden? No. Mr. Ramos? Okay, thank you. We'll talk more about that in a minute.
Sure.
Ms. Samaniego, you're going to do the human resources.
Yes, Mrs. Cox is attending training at ADE for staffing and HR. So I will do her report. Our enrollment is at 3,694 compared to last year, 3,785. We've had 42 new students enrolled, however, 23 withdrawals. 3 graduated, 4 under the Power School coding, it's a W4, which is withdrawal unknown status. 5 have moved out of town. 2 went to homeschool, 3 online, 2 no proof of residency provided, and 1 long-term suspended. So that gives you the 23 that have recently dropped. As far as in the job fair that Mr. Victor mentioned, that is this Friday. And we are fortunate to, at this moment, not have a lot of vacancies in the elementary category, but more so in the secondary, specifically RBMS and Douglas High School with the most number of vacancies. And that's the reason that we decided to move the job fair over to the old cafeteria. And so the job fair will provide future candidates to apply before the job fair, have on-site interviews in English for teaching positions or any other positions that are currently posted on our website. We ask anybody that comes to dress professionally and be prepared for an interview on the spot if they get selected for an interview. So the hours for that are 9 to 12 and 1 to 3 p.m. because they're going to break for hour lunch. So that will take place on Friday. And that is what I have for Mrs. Cox's report.
Okay, moving to public comments. We do have individuals that want to address the board. The first one is Dr. Christine Gomez regarding the Booster Club.
Good evening. I think it was on. It may have been on.
Are we going to get a stationary one, or everybody going to have to use that? Is there going to be a stationary one on that podium, Marco?
I didn't want to drill any holes into the new podium, but if you want one, we can do it.
Well, I think it'd make people more comfortable in having to hold that thing. So it took us 3 years to get that. No, I'm just kidding you, Marco. Go ahead. No, I am. He knows that. Go ahead, Dr.
Good evening. Some concerns were brought to our attention at our Wrestling Booster Club meeting February 28th. Apparently, some parent DUSD employees had attended a Booster Club meeting for a sport other than wrestling, and DUSD employees hold offices in that Booster Club. They stated that they had advised the club that this is against policy. The reply to their concerns were shrugged shoulders. Some of those shrugged shoulders are in this room and very well aware of policy. So of course we went down the path of how unfair it is that some people have to follow policy when others don't. And if you know me, that I start spitting fire. So let me explain why. We received a letter from the district that decimated our booster club. We have our president, our vice president, and our secretary at the time were DUSD employees. The treasurer was not. When Kevin and I set up the booster club, we were told not only could he not hold an office, but if I did, it would be a conflict of interest and he would have to recuse himself from any discussion about any booster club. So we complied. Right now, our president drives from Sierra Vista every time we have a booster club meeting, and sometimes that's twice a month. And her son graduated a year ago. So I ruminated for days about this issue and then decided I want to thank those individuals for breaking policy, because I truly believe we should evaluate this policy. I would like to know, what is the worst case scenario with a district employee holding an office? I totally understand treasurer. My friend Vicki Merritt can hold any office. She just can't handle money. And she can even hold an office for the IDA. So long as she doesn't handle money. Why should a district employee not be allowed to volunteer their time in a leadership position? It is a way to teach our children to be actively involved and take on responsibility. Isn't that ultimately what we want for a member of our society? I'm telling you, the only way that I saw things that I could improve was because I was active in these booster clubs. Please look at this policy and see if it really is necessary to disallow a district employee from holding office other than treasurer in a booster club. We are a small community and the pool of volunteers is so much smaller if those employees are excluded. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next, we have HOSA, and it's, I thought it was going to be Martha, and I assumed it's Evelyn Urquidez. I thought it was Martha's, but she's going to be involved, of course.
Good evening, Mr. President, Superintendent Samaniego, and members of the board. My name is Evelyn Urquidez from Douglas High School. I am the president of the HOSA Biomedical chapter, and I have been an officer for 3 years now. I have had the pleasure of attending regional leadership conferences and state leadership conferences, as well as international leadership conferences for 2 years now. And hopefully I get the opportunity to go this year as well. I consider myself to be a very involved member in all the activities provided by my chapter. I found HOSA to be a great organization for which I love to be part of. HOSA has taught me how to be more independent, responsible, and has shown me how to be part of something bigger and significant, not only for myself, but for others. I had the opportunity to be part of activities which I learned the importance of helping others and the heartwarming of giving. Some of these activities are the American Red Cross blood drive that my chapter hosted a couple months ago, or the booth that we hosted at the county fair to find donors for the Be the Match organization, which is an organization that finds donors for blood or bone marrow for people in need. And I also had the amazing opportunity to do an interview for the pediatric nursing program to help with the understanding of today's teenagers, for which I had the opportunity to write an article that got published in the HOSA National Magazine.
Thank you.
Now that I am in my senior year of high school and that I know how to be a better leader thanks to HOSA and all the things that it has taught me, I decided to be a part of the tennis team as manager. One of the primary concerns within my high school community, which I personally encounter, involves around the quality of the Douglas High School tennis courts, which is not necessarily the best. For example, following a rainy day, there are occasions during practice when the girls refrain from utilizing the entire tennis courts due to presence of cold water, and this issue impacts the development of the team as well as the equipment they use, because sometimes the balls get ruined. Another challenge we face is the absence of lighting in the courts. This means that once the sun begins to set, the girls are unable to continue playing or practicing, and sometimes we have to cancel practice. And also, improving the contracts of the tennis courts colors is another critical thing to address. Enhancing the contracts will significantly assist the team in quickly enhancing whether the balls are in or out during our matches, which sometimes it's hard for us to know. And some of my fellow students and players collected signatures to make sure to show all of you that it is an actual problem that we would like for you to consider. And the tennis team would like to request for your support in improving and fixing the problems and issues mentioned before. And thank you for your time and your consideration.
First question for me would be, what grade are you in?
I'm a senior.
Did they ask you to write that article? Did they ask you, or did you submit something and then they chose you to do it?
No, they asked me to after I did the interview.
After the interview? Well, I can say it was very well written from my standpoint, very well. And I read it. I still could hear you, but I was reading it. It was very well written, and you should be proud of yourself for that.
Thank you.
Are you going into journalism?
I am planning to.
Very good. All right. It was very good. Very good.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Mr. Lindemann or Mr. Ramos?
No, yeah, Judge, it was a very good article, and you did a great job.
Thank you.
You make us all proud to have students with those kind of talents.
Anybody else, members of the board, any comments? Mr.
Yes.
Smith? Go ahead.
Well, I also enjoyed the article. It was, as I said, very well written. But I also wanted to make a comment about the booster clubs. I also kind of feel like the policy that we currently have for the booster clubs could easily be revised for it to be a little bit better. The way that the policy currently is, the district has a good deal of amount of responsibility that they're taking for the booster clubs. If the booster clubs are set up and established properly through the state of Arizona, you can reduce the liability to the district considerably. And the way that they're currently doing it, there are a few that are set up through the state. I don't know how many, but even the way it is, the district is taking a great deal of responsibility for the actions of the booster clubs, where it should actually be kind of the opposite. The booster clubs should not be adding liabilities to the district, it should reducing it.
Go ahead, finish.
Yeah, and, with some of that said, I would like to make a motion to see if we can ask the superintendent to assign somebody to review the policy over the booster clubs to see if we can't make improvements, reduce some of the liability to the district.
Okay, just for the sake of protocol, that was on call to the public.
It was comment following, yes.
Comments, and I'm sure you know that in call to the public, unless there's an extreme urgency by any board member or anybody to respond, there is no discussion. That's part of the open meeting law. That's number one. Number two, for the record, I want to say that we went back to governing board reports. Okay, in other words, Mr. Smith did that under governing board reports because now we're on a completely different item. And then secondly, the comments, I'm sure they heard Dr. Gomez. I'm sure the administration picked up on that immediately, and I know they'll look at it and they'll talk to the, to the proper people involved and find out what they need to do, and then come back to the board.
That's not the issue that I'm talking about over there, because that is, as you said.
You know what, Mr. Smith, I really, really don't want to cut you off, but it is inappropriate right now to be talking about that.
Okay, I understood that through that it was appropriate to make comments after the call to the public.
But we're not on we're at call to the public, but she's already in the midst of her presentation, and we interrupted her, and she wasn't finished. And I think all due respect.
I'm sorry, I thought you were finished.
No, and for decorum, we should let her finish, and then come back to you if you want to.
Okay.
But
I would
again,
appreciate that.
I want to caution all board members that call to the public is only for the board to listen. And then if there's an extreme need that any board member feels that they've been libeled or denigrated or whatever, then they can respond. But it's only in those extreme circumstances that we should. Now, I know you probably say, well, you, meaning me, you respond a lot to call, because I think in my mind that it's important that that information be put out there, and it not, the people not walk out of here thinking, well, and they didn't respond, that whatever was said was gospel, all right? So I just want to say, there's no problem. We're going to say we went back to reports for that, all right? Just so that we stay within the protocol, all right? Okay, are you done, Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and finish, Evelyn.
Evelyn got a little nervous. I'm just going to clarify for her. She did get invited to apply for the interview for the nursing, pediatric nursing board, and she was selected for that. And then as one of our chapter awards, we every year submit articles, and we've been doing that for years, but we've never been selected. So she just submitted her article like she's done for me 2 years prior. This was the first year that she was selected to be published. So there was a selection process, and she was selected. So
Very good.
Just want to
Very
recognize
good.
her.
Very impressive.
Thank you.
Very impressive.
And thank you for bringing your concerns. Okay, we listened to that.
Okay. Oh.
So that's a letter she received.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna give this to Don, okay? We don't need to address that right now. Item number 2A, approval of the following consent agenda items, payroll vouchers and expense reports, ABC. Mr. Lindeman,
I move to approve the expense vouchers and reports.
is there a second?
Second.
By Ms. Selchow. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Barin?
Yes. Item 3A, discussion action on the approval of certified hires. Ms. Samaniego.
Yes, as presented, you have, I'm recommending Benjamin Loreto, currently the band teacher at Douglas High School and RBMS, for the after-school enrichment program at RBMS to teach music, funded out of ESSER at an hourly pay.
I get a motion to approve?
I move to approve the certified hire.
Is there a second?
Second.
By Ms. Selchow. Discussion, members of the board. Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Barin?
Yes. Item B, discussion action on the approval of classified hires. Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, we are recommending a custodian for Joe Carlson, ESS instructional aid for Stevenson, and 2 instructional, gen ed instructional aides for Sarah Morley and 1 for Ferris.
Entertain a motion, Mr.
Move to approve the classified hires.
Second?
Second.
By Ms. Selchow. Any discussion, members of the board? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Barin?
Yes. Item C, discussion action on the approval of certified resignation and retirements. Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, we have Ms. Ivana Leon resigning from the after-school enrichment program at Clausen. And then you have future retirement from longtime veteran staff. And it is with regret that I bring these retirees. And I want you to note that the date of retirement is effective at the end of 24-25 school year. We have Belinda Smith, Hector Moreno, Sophie Renault, Michael Starkey, and Miss Donna Seville. And all 5 teachers are longtime veteran teachers who have dedicated many hours in various different responsibilities, not only teaching, but coaching, after-school programs, tutoring. And it is with regret that I see these wonderful educators retiring, but I also congratulate them. And a few of them specified in their letter that is their hope to return to Douglas Unified School District under ESI if hired under ESI. So I want to wish all of them luck, and I know it's an emotional time when you submit your retirement letter, but we do have all of them for 1 more year.
Mr. Lindemann.
I move to approve the certified resignation and retirements.
Is there a second?
I second.
By Ms. Salchow. Members of the board, discussion?
I just wanted to say that thank you for all of your service for these teachers. I know what it's like, and you never know what the future holds. So maybe you'll rescind your retirement and stick with us. So thank you.
Anybody else?
I'd like to congratulate them on a job well done. I was looking through the letters, and I did see one that didn't say that they wanted to come back on ESI.
Yes, only a couple of them have it.
Be thinking about it.
Mr. Romo?
Yes, I just want to thank them for so many years and the dedication to our district. Thank you very much for your.
Okay, and I echo that, and also, I'm sure all of them have a tremendous background, but there's a couple there that have been with the district a long time and had some astronomical accomplishments, and credit, a lot of credit to them for all of the hard work and the time that it takes to do the things that were done, and especially one of them there. And it was very, very impressive. Didn't realize it until recently that one individual was very, very stellar in her position as a coach. All right, we have a motion on the floor.
Yes, sir.
Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Breen?
Yes, item D, discussion action on the approval of classified retirement. Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, another veteran employee of the district who probably started as an IA many moons ago, Ana Flores, has submitted her retirement from being the new Student Center supervisor with an effective date of end of May 2024. As you know, the new Student Center supervisor position is a key position, so we will be moving forward in finding a replacement for Mrs. Ana Flores. I want to thank her for the many years of service that she gave this district and wants to continue helping out in any way she can.
Mr. Lindemann, will you?
I
make
move
that
to
motion?
approve the classified retirement.
Is there a second?
I second.
By Ms. Salchow. Any discussion?
And again, I'd like to say thank you to Ms. Flores for all those years of dedication.
She's not here, is she? No, and she has been, I don't know how many years, 29, 30?
More, 34, I think.
In a very, very critical position as well. That she's the one that's really in charge of ensuring that Mr. Soto gets all that revenue. And she's done a good job there, and she's gonna be hard to replace. So we want to congratulate her and wish her the best. Have a motion, roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Breen?
Yes, discussion action on the approval of classified transfers under item E. Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, you have a food service worker who applied for an ESS instructional aid position, and then 2 food service employees with the change of hours.
Mr. Lindemann,
I move to approve the classified transfers.
is there a second?
Second.
By Ms. Salchow. Members of the board, any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Breen?
Yes, item F, discussion action on the approval of athletic resignations. Ms. Samaniego.
You have an athletic baseball assistant coach resigning from baseball assistant coach position, not his teaching position, Mr. Luis Cañas. And then also, with regret, Mr. Mitch Nelson, who has been our athletic trainer since probably Mr. Walker left the position, if I'm correct. Many years of service, and you can see in his letter that he's put in a lot of hours to the athletic program. Many late nights, long days, and he has made a decision to retire. I mean, not retire, resign from just the athletic trainer position, as he has other personal things going on in his life, and so we will have to make modifications to that position. And will
Enter
be
for
brought forth at a
discussion.
later date.
I move to approve the athletic resignations.
Is there a second?
I second.
By Ms. Salchow. I too want to mention Mitch Nelson. I've seen and observed and seen him in his job, and I've seen him at work. He he's to really be congratulated for his service, but he also has an outstanding instructional program. And it's very obvious that the students respect and like him. And whoever we get to replace him as a trainer is going to be difficult, especially in these times. And actually, I think you told me you're going to be coming back to the board with a position. We're going to have to do a full-time position for trainer now because of that situation. So, members of the board, Mr. Smith?
I have nothing.
Ms. Salchow?
I just want to say thank you. I know how many hours you put in being married to a coach and knowing how many hours you were there always. And a trainer is something you cannot do without. So thank you.
I didn't see him sitting back there, Mr. Lindeman.
No. Ditto.
Mr. Ramos, any comments?
Right, thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate, as I've always said, with the hard work everybody puts in our district. Thank you very much.
Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindeman?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Breen?
Yes, item G, discussion action on the approval of athletic hires. Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, you have a baseball assistant coach, two track and field assistant coaches, and a weight room supervisor for the spring timeframe. And these are addendas.
Mr. Lindeman, will you make?
Move to approve the athletic hires.
Is there a second?
Second.
By Ms. Salchow. Discussion. There was one new coach there, right, to the board? One new one to the board?
Two, Litzy and Yenny Villalpando. Litzy Leiva and Yenny Villalpando.
And were you able to get the background information on
Yes,
those?
we
Oh,
already,
okay.
HR
And you-
reviewed it and have experience, and you have the justification and your background information. So
Very
yes.
good. Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindeman?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Breen?
Yes. Item H, discussion action on the approval of donations received for Douglas Unified School District Number 27, Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, a donation of $2,500 from Palo Verde Fiesta Bowl Charities Wishes for Teachers to Joe Carlson, third grade classroom, Mrs. Bettis.
It's all going to Mrs. Bettis?
Yes, to her classroom.
Exactly, yeah. Okay.
Move to approve the donations.
Is there a second?
Second.
By Ms. Salchow. Members of the board, any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindeman?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Breen?
Yes. Item I, discussion action on the approval of the 2024, 2025, and 2025, 26 Douglas Unified School District calendars. Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, you have the background information. There are 2 years being presented to you. The calendar committee, you have the background information. They met extensively, had discussions about work days and how many, when teachers were going to get back, when we were going to have our vacation and all that. And you have the specific dates for the 24-25 and specific dates for 25-26. There is not much of a change. We are still having, we're not adding more early release days. We're not taking any, and still staying within the parameters of our existing calendar right now.
Mr. Lindeman,
I move to approve the calendars.
is there a second?
Second.
By Ms. Salchow. Members of the board, discussion regarding the calendar. Mr. Lindeman.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that if there's no actual changes other than the dates from the year.
Yes.
And then when I look at May of 25, that seems like it would push everything up. Is that the way the calendar falls? So it looks like graduation is like on the 22nd. That's pretty early.
Yes, it's
25,
just, I think that year, 25-26, let me look at February. If that's, so that doesn't have February 29th, but it does somehow, as, you know, next year, you'll see that even teachers in 25-26 will get back on July 30th. Usually they get back that first week of August, so it does push things a little bit.
Right, well, there's nothing wrong with that. I was
Yes,
just wondering.
yes, but yes.
It's different than what I'm used to, the
Yes.
24th, you know. That's okay. That's all.
Members of the board, Mr. Smith, any questions, comments on the calendar?
No.
Mrs. Salcha?
With the kind of putting on with what Mitch had to say about the end of school, is that because Memorial Day is a little bit earlier?
Pull that mic down.
I'm sorry. Is it because Memorial Day is a little bit earlier? I know that we always
Yes.
have graduation the Friday before Memorial Day. Okay.
Mr. Ramos, any comments, questions on the calendar? And of course, you went over that with staff and everybody was involved.
Yes, there's time frame for new teachers to come to the district to do their training before everybody else, and then when all staff reports certified, and then when all classified staff report. So yes, it's been extensively reviewed.
Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Barin?
Yes, item J, discussion action on the approval of out-of-state travel for Mrs. Mia Torres and Paola Rojo to attend the Phoenix Battalion Educators Tour. Ms. Samaniego?
Yes, as presented, I just brought it to the board for approval because it isn't out of state. It's no cost to the district at all, because this is supported and paid for by the United States Army. And they will be participating, I believe, in their 1 week battalion educators tour, where they will go through exactly what I was told, like boot camp, what our students go through when they go through the boot camp.
Mr. Lindemann?
I move to approve the travel.
Second?
Second.
Ms. Salcho? Members of the board, discussion?
You know, I think I've mentioned before that when they're out-of-state travel, they probably come and report to you, but we never hear about that. So I would like just a little
We will
brief-
have them.
just a brief
brief you.
synopsis.
We'll see how they survive the week. One of our teachers is here, so. Back and report.
All right. Well, why would you single her out after all of the people that have traveled over the years? Put her on the spot, make her nervous? I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding. If you want to, you can come back and make a report. I will. No, I'm just kidding. Well, he requested it, so you got it. Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Barin?
Yes, item K, discussion action on the approval of out-of-state travel for 10 staff to attend a Title IV, technology conference. Ms. Samaniego.
So I hope you had an opportunity to read the background information, but under the Title IV grant, we must attend to at least 2 professional development, and we are recommending out-of-state travel for the following 10 to attend the technology professional development. You have the name of the people, the travel, the cost, all presented to you.
Mr. Lindemann,
I move to approve the out-of-state travel.
is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Salchow. Members of the board, discussion?
Is Marcos on this list?
Yes, so he will be presenting. Yes.
Is Marco going on?
He'll lead the team, yes.
All right.
As our IT director, he'll lead the team.
Marco's gotten to be pretty important around here.
Always.
Oh, of course, but no, as definitely needed. Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Barin?
Yes, item L, discussion action on the approval of out-of-state travel for Tyler Visions Conference. Ms. Samaniego?
For this Tyler Visions is the software that we work with to fulfill all of our business operations, HR. And so Ms. Norma Nato will need to attend this training. The information is there, the cost is there, and it's just her.
Mr. Lindemann?
I move to approve the out-of-state travel.
Is there a second?
Second.
By Ms. Salchow. Members of the board? Roll call. I'm sorry, do you have a question, Ms.?
That's all right.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I suppose I have to follow suit.
Yes, so Ms.
That's
Norma
fine.
will, Mr. Soto will present on that one when she
that's a
gets
good
back.
idea.
Well, then I need to go.
No, you don't.
You're not gonna bring Norma, you're not gonna have to bring Norma in here to do that.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Barin?
Yes, item M, discussion action on the approval of salary increase for all Douglas Unified School District employees for for school year 2024-25. Ms. Samaniego.
Okay, what we've been waiting for very patiently for these salary increases. I do want to start off by saying that as a governing board, you assigned me or gave me direction to look at a possible 5%. We talked about a 4%, and we had brought up at previous meetings a 3% raise. So we did that. We did that extensively. Mr. Soto and I, Mrs. Cox, and members of my staff that are key people into the budget sources that make up of our entire budget. So after doing a careful analysis, and a school budget is made up of different funding sources. It's not just the M&O budget, right? So in looking at every funding source from in your background information, it says before we made a recommendation, we had to consider our federal and state grants, our carryover, capital, other revenue funding sources that make up the entire school budget. We've known, and we've been saying that we've been losing children. So the biggest negative impact on our budget has been the student loss. And so we've lost, since the very beginning of the year, around 260 students. What that equals to in dollars is $1.3 million in loss of funding. This is not any different than other districts are currently going through. As a matter of fact, you have numerous districts that are losing, $12 million, $10 million due to just loss in funding. So I want you to understand, number one, that's the huge impact. Other factors that we are considering before making a recommendation to the board is our health insurance premium may go up. We've been working with Gallagher, and we will be meeting very shortly to determine what Blue Cross Blue Shield will come in as far as an increase. And you know that the governing board has fully supported our employees to get free health insurance at the cost of the district. So if Mr. Soto, just roughly thinking that there may be a 10% increase, that has to be covered by our budget. Prop 123 monies, we know that that is up, on the table as far as an election is concerned. We know that there's money that will come down through the Prop 123 monies. We don't know how much. We don't know if it's going to be approved. The uncertainty with legislature in terms of the many bills out there and the many funding issues that are happening from the AEL, from the voucher system that is taking a lot of the budget from the education world and public education. Currently, the ESSA funds students that attend any school under the ESSA at an average cost of $9,300, where we are being funded right now at about $4,900 per student. So you see the discrepancy there. In addition to our grants, because of loss of enrollment, just alone in Title I, we're going to lose some revenue there. So we got to consider that. And in other grants. We know that our ESSER funding is expiring at the end of 2025. The ESSER 3 grant was $17.8 million just for this year. And so we did textbook adoptions, we did the one-time stipends, we're buying computers for the staff. So everything that has been allowed under ESSER, so that's going away. ESSER has also given us the opportunity to employ, reading and math interventionists, IT help desk, counselors, and so forth. So those funds are going away. In addition, we have transportation costs that are increasing. We've had to make expenses on, school buses that are now meeting the requirement of the what is allowed to transport kids in. So we've had to spend money that, and the other part of it is that we are going to be only getting a 2% maximum increase to the ADM. So that's all we're getting, and Mr. Soto will give you those concrete numbers. And then This year, we got that one-time supplemental pay that we're not getting next year, and that was about $1 million, little over $1 million that we got this year that helped us give that 5% raise last year. So with all of that, and knowing that we may continue to, lose children, it's not for sure. The numbers, the 3,600 has been steady since about, I want to say November. So we lose some, we gain some. In order to be fiscally responsible and have the district continue to be in a good place as far as our budget, I can't make a recommendation of a 5%. But what I can do is recommend to the board that we can do a 3% that is sustainable for our certified employees and a 60-cent increase to the classified person that is employed by the district. Now, in order to do that, in your background information, we would have to transfer approximately $1.35 million from our capital or district additional assistance funds to the M&O in order to cover salaries. Now, we can do that responsibly and comfortably because we know that there's other budget sources that we can pull from in order to either replace that money once the board adopts the new budget and we get issued the district additional assistance and other revenues. So we're not concerned with that, a transfer of money in order to make the 3% happen. I gave you a breakdown, and we are not in a bad position compared to other major, school districts such as like DUSD or Mesa, who are having to cut people. So right now there is not any talks of rifts, layoffs. Our budget is solid, and that would be my recommendation. I will now defer to Mr. Soto to share a little bit more details on what he knows from the Arizona school business officials.
Well, excuse me, before you go on, I think the board needs to know that what you built in that budget and with the finances that are available, and you gave all the good details, that only applies to present employees.
Yes.
You haven't projected any new employees, any added positions, nothing, right?
Not at all. Going back to what I also stated in my background information is that with the 3%, we're also looking at once the ESSER 3 grant gets cleaned up and we make payment to all of our existing expenses out of the ESSER 3, it is my hope to come back with an approved ESSER one-time bonus that we were not planning on even giving, and that would be for August. I don't have the amount because, again, we're still closing up that grant. But yes, this is not considering any of the ESSER-funded positions that are existing right now and that we've known that those positions expire when the grant expires, and which would be June 30th. However, with that being said, we have some key positions that we would like to consider, but I will bring those key positions at a future date. And those positions are some of the interventionists that can be funded out of a different grant. We're looking at 4 other positions. One being the athletic trainer, as Mr. Barain said. That's going to have to be a full-time position, new position, but I will bring that and a counselor and possibly 2 IT help desk, but that is not included in this recommendation.
Just for clarification, go ahead, Mr. Soto.
Like Ms. Samaniego said, and all of the factors that are affecting this year's education in the whole state, not just us, but like she was saying, the Prop 123, this is the last year of Prop 123 as is. So it's going to go.
Tell the board what Prop 123 is. That's just a lot of mumbo jumbo when you say Prop 123.
It's a trust land that the state, when they sell land and the money goes there and then produces interest, and that's what it's in place right now. It's the final year. It's going to go to the voters in November. Potentially, hopefully, the governor wants to present it and recommend it, it's going to be extend that proposition again with voter approval. we're hoping, very hoping that that's going to go through and that's going to be funding education. Again, at this point, there's a lot of back and forth between the politicians out there about, is it just going to be for teachers? Is it going to be for everybody else? You name it. So, but it's a good, hopefully a good funding for education if that goes through. With the need of transferring district additional assistant, there's an increase for the funding for district additional assistant or capital for next year. Yet with the loss of enrollment is going to affect the funding a little bit, but I'm very confident that we'll get more than what's needed to do the transfer on a way that, like Mrs. Samaniego said, being fiscally responsible, that amount is manageable to do, and that's what we're recommending. There's still, as everybody knows, there's a lot of activity in terms of bills out there that will impact education. The recommendation that we're doing right now is based on that and being conservative in a way that we're still waiting, but I'm just gonna say it as a worst case scenario. This is how it's gonna affect us on a way.
And the transfer of the 1.35, if you approve my recommendation, it is taking into consideration that when Mr. Soto brings the budget for the fiscal year 24-25 for approval, that transfer will be in that document for your approval.
Okay, are you done anything else?
Yes, sir.
If you think of something else you want to
I
add,
can-
I think
okay.
you've given all the pertinent details. All right, can we get a motion on the floor?
I move to approve the salary increase for all DUSD employees for the school year 2024-2025.
Is there a second?
Second.
By Ms. Salchow. Okay, members of the board, questions? Mr. Smith, any questions regarding any of that?
No.
Ms. Salchow?
Not really.
Mr. Lindeman?
I just had a quick comment. You know, in this day and age, you'd never know what the state legislature is going to do, which is kind of strange. But we always hold out hope that if they do approve the money, then we can either increase the 3% possibly, or the one-time payment. And I think either would be a good option. So, thank you.
Mr. Ramos? Actually, they really worked hard on this, because if you remember, we had initially said that we want her to do 5%. And Mr. Lindeman said, we'll work all the numbers, 3, 4, and 5. And believe me, I know they've been really working hard on that, and this is, it's doable. And it's not going to compromise the district at all. The solvency will stay the same. You can sustain it. And as Ms. Samaniego said, if they find money out of those ESSER funds, she can come back and make a one-time recommendation payment. And also, if there's a need for any of those people that are going to be out of position because of the expiration of the grant, then those people know, and I'm sure you've already advised them, that if there's other positions, maybe not taking a chance waiting till May to try to fill those, but they understand that you're gonna come back, and then, of course, the board will determine whether they approve new positions, and especially the new position with the job description on the athletic trainer, because that's gonna change, right?
Yes.
Okay, members of the board, no other questions or comments? Mr. Smith, on that? Ms. Salchow?
No.
Nothing? No. Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindeman?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Bryan?
Yes. Item O, discussion action on the approval.
N.
Pardon?
The item N.
Oh, I'm sorry. Discussion action on approval of certified contract renewals for 2024-25 school year. Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, so the following staff lists that you have are being recommended for the 24-25 school year, so that HR can start issuing their contracts.
For the sake of conversation, Mr. Lindeman, really.
I move to approve the certified staff contract renewals.
Is there a second?
Second.
By Ms. Salchow. Before I go to the board, and I know it's not there, but addendums for any other added duties or extra duties is not there at all,
No,
right?
not
Those
with
come according-
contracts, yes.
right.
So
Okay.
our
Go
HR
ahead.
department will take everybody's, under the certified and issue a new contract based on what you just approved with the 3%. And just want to remind teachers that you have 15 calendar days to submit your contract back to HR. Please make sure you do that.
I thought it was 30.
No, it's actually 15. It's by state statute. So.
That was back in your.
Ms.
I
Sancho,
think it was
you
back
say
in my
something?
time.
I have no questions.
Mr. Smith?
No.
How about you, Mr. Ramos?
No.
Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Alcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Burry?
Yes, and you'll be able to issue those contracts on?
Yes.
Item O, discussion action on the approval of classified termination due to job abandonment. Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, this is an at-will classified employee who didn't show up to work, no communication, no reporting, and so I am recommending her termination.
Entertain a motion to do
I
that.
move to approve the classified termination.
Is there a second?
Second.
By Ms. Salchow. Members of the board, any questions? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Alcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Burry?
Yes, item 4, executive session. The governing board may vote into executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.03, subsection A, number 1, for the following personnel matters. A, consider certified teachers' retirement request and retirement compensation. And 2, Superintendent Ana C. Samaniego's annual evaluation. Mr. Lindemann.
I move to approve going to executive session.
Second.
Second.
By Ms. Salchow. Members of the board, any discussion? Mr. Smith, Ms. Salchow? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Alcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Burry?
Yes, let's take about a 5-minute break before we go into executive session. Okay, we're back in open session. Item A, discussion action on the retirement request and board consideration on retirement compensation submitted by Mr. Mark Contreras, certified teacher at Douglas High School. Well, I tell you what, board members, I'll entertain a motion that we accept his retirement and that we give him all compensation that he has coming because of unused sick leave and personal leave, but not to be paid this year, but to be paid next year. I'll entertain that motion.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Ramos. Members of the board, any discussion?
I just want to say that, thank you, Mr. Contreras, for all your hard work, and we really appreciate that. And, you know, I go to Bismarck quite regularly to take care of my parents, and I can sympathize, but good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Contreras. I was his administrator, worked with him, and continued to see him move on from middle school over to the high school, and greatly appreciate the time you've put in, and congratulations on your retirement.
Also, while we're under discussion, I want to point out is I do, when it looks like we're doing something, making exceptions, that the policy is the policy. However, there are always extenuating or mitigating circumstances, and the board always considers those cases individually. The same way with student hearings. The circumstances are always different. They're extenuating in a lot of ways, so we go on what we know and what the administration brings to us. All right, we have a motion on the floor?
Yes, sir.
Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Beret?
Yes. Item B, Superintendent Samoniego's evaluation. Entertain a motion to approve.
I move to approve and accept Ms. Samaniego's evaluation.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? For public consumption, it was outstanding again, and just want everybody to know that the board feels she's doing an outstanding job. Entertain a motion to, no, you've got some announcements.
I need to do roll call.
You need to do roll call. Alma needs to do roll call.
Oh, we didn't do the roll call on that?
No.
I didn't want it approved. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Beret?
Yes, all right.
Yes, so announcements, we have early release day on March 8th, this Friday. Reminder to everyone that our spring break is coming and all schools will be closed. We also have Easter break and no school, and all school district offices will be closed on March the 29th and April 1st. And our next regular board meeting is on April the 2nd. Thank you very much.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
By Mr. Lindemann.
Second.
Second by Ms. Salchow. All those in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye.